All right, everybody, what is on and popping? What is good with you? It's your boy J-OneHundred, and today we're gonna talk about some stuff. It's been one of them days, kind of like kind of like when it was election day. But instead of just doing this for Facebook, I also am streaming this on YouTube as well because I would like to have this topic reach as many people as it can because or these topics reach as many people as it can because it's I don't know, it's just getting weird. It's getting weird how people look at things. It's getting weird how people are coming to conclusions. And there are a few things. The main story that we're going to talk about with the little boy at the Chiefs game. um how do we still not understand this yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confused. How do we still not understand that cultural appropriation and racism is a no-no? Like, can we please stop doing this already? Um I am still trying to get my stuff in order here. This is kind of impromptu as well. Uh so bear with me. Where is there we go. Let's go to I guess we'll just go to it. Okay, screw it. Whatever. If we get comments, we get comments. If we don't, we don't. Whatever. We'll see how this goes. All right. So, everybody, I don't know if everybody has seen or heard of this situation yet, but during the Kansas City Chiefs versus Las Vegas Raiders game, the camera guy spotted a young boy. I believe he's 10 years old. We'll get to the article in a second. I don't want to get to the update yet. We'll do that last. And uh they conservative media is making a big deal out of this, saying that it's not a big deal at all. And I don't know. I guess from a military standpoint or uh, uh, someone who has a culture that has a rite of passage or things such as this, um, it just bugs me that people come to this conclusion, right? So as I was trying to put that together, this is what I came up with. Okay, so do you know how people in general, but we're attacking conservatives today. You're being attacked, conservatives. So if you want to come at me, you can come at me in the chat. I want you to. I'm here for the smoke. I'm not trying to fight or anything like that. You just have no point. But it's kind of one of those things where people in general, but mainly the conservative audience says that they don't want people to get handouts, or they don't want people to get things that they did not earn. Right? So I'm part native. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm, registered with the tribe or anything like that, but I have Native American heritage. Literally, I'm not saying this like, oh, I'm 1/16th Cherokee. No, 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 no. I'm pretty quarter. I got like 25-30%, something like that. Seminole slash Creek Indian. I would never do this because I have not done anything within the tribe or the community to warrant a feather, a headdress, or paint. These are things that are cultural. Another good way of looking at this before we get into the article is for the military folks out there. I'm a former Marine myself. When we talk about stolen valor, right? How it's illegal in the law, via the law, right, to wear medals and accommodations from the United States military, United States Armed Forces that you did not earn. It's against the law. And it's just weird. Why would you want to wear? I mean, I guess I get the point. Like, oh, I'm cool. I got medals. I'm military accomplished. I'm all that. Like, I get it. Sure. But when it's all said and done, this is not showing support for your team. You think it is, but it's not. This is not showing support for this group. You think it is, but it's not. And the reason why you think it is because you do not care, or those people do not care about this culture in any way, shape, or form. Now we'll get into it a little bit more after we read the article, because it's this story kind of blows your mind. And the way that I do things, and this is the reason why I wanted to come and stream here and on YouTube, is so my Facebook friends can see how this goes down, and then give me a like and subscribe on YouTube. And then when I have the time to do this on YouTube, you can see me on YouTube. But I like to break things down, right? I like to look at things from a couple of different perspectives, if not more, and then come to a calculated conclusion based off of my own experience, what the article is presenting me, other information that I can use to contextualize the situation, right? So we'll read this Deadspin article. And here's the one thing that I'm going to give conservatives outright. The one thing that I'm going to give conservatives outright is that this Deadspin article is terribly written. It is absolutely horribly written. Trash article. But there are some things in here that, explaining the stuff that happens. And this is the source of where the consternation, if you will, began, is with this article. So let's read it together. All right. I'm not going to read the update. The update just breaks the whole goddamn story. So let's start from the beginning, right? We'll get to the tweets and all that later. It takes a lot to disrespect two groups. Let me make this bigger for you. It takes a lot to disrespect two groups of people at once. But on Sunday afternoon in Las Vegas, a Kansas City Chiefs fan found a way to hate black people and Native Americans at the same time. It was as if John Gruden's emails had come to life. Ha ha ha, bad joke. The image of a Chiefs fan in blackface wearing a native headdress during a road game leads to so many unanswered questions. Why did the camera person give this fan the attention? Right? It's a child, right? So to me, the way I'm looking at it is, if I was the cameraman, you made this kid unintentionally famous, whether you know it or not, right? And that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not necessarily right, right? But regardless, this is what was done, and this is where we're at now, right? So the next question is, why did the producer allow that camera angle to be aired at all? Especially the camera angle, because this is the thing that got the author of this article in trouble in the first place. Was when you look at it at a different angle, it kind of changes the situation, or so you think. We'll get to it. Is that fan a kid/teenager or a young adult? Despite their age, who taught that person that what they were wearing was appropriate? That's the main question, right? The answers to all those questions lead back to the NFL. I don't agree with that, but continuing. While it isn't the league's responsibility to stop racism and hate from being taught in the home, they are a league that has relentlessly participated in prejudice. If the NFL had outlawed the chop at Chiefs game and been more aggressive in changing the team's name, then we wouldn't be here. Now that, again, this article is very, very, very poorly written. I understand the point that they're trying to make, but when we break this down, you're going to understand why you set the way this article is written, set this author and Deadspin and this whole story to be framed in a way that is so disingenuous. And it's because of this terrible writing. We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to get through the article. There's no place for a franchise to be called the Chiefs in a league that's already eradicated the Redskins. I shouldn't even said that. I don't even like saying that. There's no pretty way to mascot people. Amanda Blackhorse, a Native American activist and an organizer of a pregame protest rally, told USA Today Sports earlier this year. This is what happens when you ban books, stand against critical race theory, and try to erase centuries of hate. You give future generations the ammunition they need to evolve and recreate racism better than before. which is ultimately the point that I'm going to be trying to make here by the time we get done with this story, because that's what I think this is ultimately leading to, is the conservatives' way to try to break some of the things that uh, I want to say liberals, but I would say more leftists accomplished by changing things that they feel so righteous about. We'll get to it. We are committed to inspire change and the social justice work that inspires change for the long term. Anna Isaacson, NFL Senior Vice President of Social Responsibility, told the Associated Press back in 2021. That was the time when the league was beginning to allow players to wear decals on their helmets that read "Stop Hate," "Black Lives Matter," "Inspire Change," and "Say Their Stories" as part of the NFL's social justice initiatives. Notice how it's usually referred to as social justice and not racial justice, as a way to soften the hate. Now, as much as I do not like this article, I very much appreciate that point right there. However, the ultimate insult from the league can be seen during each game as "end racism" and "it takes all of us" are sketched in the end zones. Do you know how big your balls have to be to say that racism should be ended when you have a racist past like the NFL? It's as if Jim Trotter and Brian Flores aren't actively suing them for alleged racism right now, as the attorneys general in New York and California are also investigating them for similar allegations. Now, the Brian Flores, out of those two lawsuits, I personally believe that Jim Trotter has the better case. I definitely understand where Brian Flores uh, uh, fits in all of this, and I do believe, considering, I mean, with the Miami Dolphins and ultimately seeing the success of Mike McDaniels, I think that the Miami Dolphins were just trying to pick the best coach they felt for the long term. It's just that the way it was presented was, if you win now, we'll see what we can do. The dude gave them the best season they had in a long time, and then got rid of them, and now they're kind of one of the better teams in the AFC East. So we'll see how that goes. So that's why I say Jim Trotter has the better case right now. But ultimately, the NFL owners, has a pretty bad past. So you would think that they would be a little bit more vigilant about cases and situations like this, right? The idea that it takes all of humanity to end racism is not only asinine, but insulting and infuriating. By doing that, you're taking away the responsibility and the necessity of accountability from the ones who created it and actively participated in it. Again, more reasons why I don't like this article. The idea that it takes all of humanity to end racism is not only asinine, it's not asinine. It does take all of humanity to end racism. Um, um, it, Asking humanity to come together to end racism, in my view, does not take away the responsibility and necessity of accountability. It says that everyone has the responsibility and the necessity to have accountability for racism. If you want to do racist stuff, you're going to be held accountable for the racist things that you do and say. If you don't want to do racist stuff, then other people, other groups, other whatever, don't have anything to say. And it's so hilarious right now, on top of the fact that there is a conflict right now, that if you talk about it in any other way, you're deemed racist, which is hilarious to me, because in this situation where it's actually racism, that same group of people will be like, "Oh no, the kid's grandfather is native, so him acting a fool is okay." Again, we will get to it. It's also cruel to expect the oppressed to assist their oppressors in the termination of their own oppression. I kind of agree with that. If you're wondering if the NFL is delusional enough to believe that their end zone slogans are making a difference, you're correct. The league is beyond sensitive when it comes to their message. In a preseason, there was a rumor floating around that "play football" would be the new motto etched on the field. When Deadspin contacted the league about it, we received a prompt response, 12 minutes, saying otherwise. There's been no change from previous years. Beginning with the regular seasons, clubs will have in the end zone stencils. Will have in end zone stencils featuring "It Takes All of Us" and "End Racism," wrote Brian McCarthy, the league's vice president of communications, to Deadspin in an email exchange. Play Football was featured for preseason as part of a league initiative, which is Play Football is like a young kid initiative, something like that. As of now, the league hasn't released a statement on what took place in the stands in Las Vegas on Sunday. That photo of the fan floating around on the internet is beyond a bad look for the league, while simultaneously being what should be expected from the NFL. The NFL stands with the black community, the players, clubs, and fans, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell once said. Confronting systemic racism with tangible and productive steps is absolutely essential. We will not relent in our work, and we will redouble our efforts to be catalysts for the urgent and sustainable change that our society and communities so desperately need. 3 years after Goodell made that comment, the league is worse off than it was when the commissioner was scrambling around America's racial awakening in 2020. Oh, this article is insufferable. He apologized to Colin Kaepernick, allowed players to kneel in protest, peaceful protest, and promised that things would change. Nothing has, which I agree with that. After what we saw on Sunday, it feels like nothing ever will. Okay. So, before I get to the update, let me be fair. Let's read the other side. Now, I am, and this is not a promo. I'm not getting paid to say this right now, but I am. I have a Ground News account. If you don't know what Ground News is a news app that allows you to be able to see news articles from all different parts of the spectrum, if you will, left, right, center, all that kind of stuff like that, and all over the world. So one article could have 15, 16, 25, 10 sources. And what I like to do, especially with topics that I see people are going back and forth on, or things that I'm not really sure about, or just because I'm curious, I like to go back and look at all the different sources and see how things are being spoke of. So when I was on Ground News, the only article that Ground News picked up was Breitbart, which is perfect because that's the side of the spectrum that I wanted to get an article from. So on this article, it's saying that the mother of the boy attacked. Ooh, so he was attacked by ultra woke media outlet Deadspin. So as much as the Deadspin article was insufferable, I didn't even get through the first sentence and I'm already exhausted. Okay, this is going to be kind of tough to get through, especially considering that like the logic that they're using to get through this point is absolutely crude and ridiculous. So the mother of the boy attacked by ultra woke media outlet Deadspin for wearing face paint and an Indian feathered headdress at the Kansas City Chiefs game is speaking out against accusations that her boy is a racist who disrespected blacks and Native Americans, and she is noting that he actually has Native American heritage in his family. Like that matters. But this has nothing to do with the NFL, Armento wrote on a Monday Facebook. Also, CBS showed him multiple times, and this is the photo people choose to blast to create division, she wrote, referencing the profile view of a photo of her son. He is a Native American. Just stop already. Unlike many who have vague feeling that great-great-grandma was a Cherokee, Armenta noted that her son could not be a racist against Indians because he has native blood. He has native blood in his family. Newsflash. You can be racist to your own race. Breitbart. Conservatives. White people. You call them race traitors. Conservatives. And that's you being racist to white people because they don't agree with you being racist to everybody else. So, you're wrong on that one. Indeed, the boy's grandfather, Raul Armenta, has an official position in the Chumash tribe in Santa Ynez, California, where he sits on the board of the Chumash tribe, the post-millennial discovered. And when I read this article last night, that actually read the post-millennial discovered in an article from 2014. So that must have looked or read very bad. And they did not want to have that listed in there, right? Or 2016, I'm sorry. The grandfather is listed as a business committee member and was first elected to his position in 2016 because they had that above before. You cannot be elected to a tribal position unless you have provable native heritage. Yes, Raul has provable native heritage, but this little boy doesn't necessarily have tribal rights. But continuing. As Breitbart Sports reported, Deadspin and other members of the left-wing media were triggered over the boy's fan garb. Oh, that's what it is. When he showed up at the Chiefs-Raiders game in Las Vegas last Sunday wearing a Travis Kelce jersey, a feathered Indian headdress, and with his face painted in team colors, half red and half black. That's the part that's funny. We'll get to that in a second. I want to get through these articles here. But the media consistently showed the boy in a profile photo showing only the left side of his face, which was painted black. And then they accused the boy of showing up to the game in blackface, a scurrilous and false accusation. It's not, but Deadspin senior writer Karen Phillips, yes, he's a male Karen. Insufferable. Blasted both the racist boy in the NFL for allowing him to be an NFL fan. We just read that article, and even though it is 100% absolutely terrible, that's not what it said. But if you know anything about conservative media, conservative, and you see how there's links right here. So this link goes to another Deadspin article. No, actually, this is it. Wow. They must have added that. I, again, was looking for this all yesterday. Didn't see it. Good addition, Breitbart. You didn't have that yesterday. This is what happens when you ban books, stand against critical race theory, and try to erase centuries of hate, he rallied. You give future generations the ammunition they need to evolve and recreate racism better than before. We read all that. So let's continue down here. Phillips, though, has not gotten away with his calumny without a reply. Even X posted a community note to the Deadspin post on its article saying, blackface is the use of dark makeup to mimic and exaggerate the features of black people in order to ridicule them, and adding, this fan's face is painted red and black to support the Kansas City Chiefs. Face paint is popular practice in NFL games and is not related to blackface. Agreed, but we'll continue. Others blasted Deadspin and Phillips for lying about young Holder. Oh, we were lying. Oh, I'm not reading these tweets. Despite being fact-checked, though, Phillips doubled down on Monday replied on X, writing, for the idiots in my mentions who are treating this as some harmless act because the other side of his face was painted red, I can make the argument that it makes it even worse. Y'all are the ones who hate Mexicans, but wear sombreros on Cinco. So, to me, honestly, every article or every photo that I've seen of the boy was this. The first picture I saw was this. This was the one that was on Deadspin trying to make the point that kind of was blackface. I didn't see this first. I saw this first. Now, can someone tell me, and we'll open up a tab. Matter of fact, we don't need someone to tell me. We'll open up a tab and I'll look it up myself. What are the colors for the Kansas City Chiefs? All right, let's see. It says it right there already, but I want to go to this website here. Oh, come on, don't be slow now. All right. So, Kansas City Chiefs with team color white, red, and gold was founded on 1960. They team colors ain't even red and black. So your argument already kind of halfway falls apart. Number one. Now, if he painted his face red and yellow and had like maybe a stripe in the middle and had like 87 on his face or like the arrow somewhere, cool. Face paint. You can get creative with face paint. But if you're just gonna do the half black, half red, those aren't the colors of the team. It's half of the colors of the team, but not the colors of the team. The next point was that the grandfather was affiliated with the Santa Ynez Board of Chumash Indians. So updated today per Front Office Sports, the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians, whom the fan and his family are affiliated with, so we're not denying that he has native heritage, have released a statement condemning the wearing regalia as part of a costume or participating in any other type of cultural appropriation. Here's the full statement from the tribe that you said, oh, but he's native. None of this matters because his grandfather's native. This isn't racist. We are aware that a young member of our community, so they own him. We are aware that a young member of our community attended a Kansas City Chiefs game and a headdress and face paint in his way of supporting his favorite team. Please keep in mind that the decisions made by individuals or families in our community are their own and may not reflect the views of the broader tribal community. As a federally recognized tribe, the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians does not endorse wearing regalia as part of a costume or participating in any other type of cultural appropriation. So you've lost all of your points. It kind of is blackface because the team doesn't wear black. So, wrong. Redskin is a dictionary-defined racial slur. Now, granted, red is the team color of one of the team colors of the team, but when you put it all together in context with the war bonnet headdress, the black side, the red side, you put that all together, it's 100% not a good look. And so the other part that people says is, well, if the team, okay, they didn't say this in these articles, and I wish they did, because it would have just made everything worse for the conservative side, right? But but I know a lot of people say, but the team is just what do they say? They try to respect and represent the native culture. They're giving homage. That's what they say. They're paying their respects to the Native American heritage, right? All right. Well, I'm on the Kansas City Chiefs official website. And I'm going to read, again, you probably don't like me reading all this, right? It's kind of boring. Doesn't matter. Y'all want to say stupid stuff, then we're going to have to read the text in order to prove that this is stupid stuff, okay? Here we go. Really, going back 7 years ago, when we started the dialogue with our American Indian working group here in Kansas City, it was a real learning experience for the organization. I think the important thing on the entire subject has been how important education has been. It's something that's important to me, it's something that's important to the American Indians, both from cultural heritage standpoint and just preserving their traditions. But it's also a way of educating our fans that these things are offensive to them. We have now expanded our relationship beyond just the group in the Midwest that we've been working with. So on the team's website, they say that it's offensive. So what is the origins of the Chiefs' name? The Kansas City Chiefs were named for H. Rowe Bartle, the mayor of Kansas City in the early 1960s. Nicknamed Chief, Mayor Bartle was instrumental in attracting Lamar Hunt's American Football League franchise, the Dallas Texans, to Kansas City in 1963. With a new home and a new state, Hunt's franchise needed a new name. And longtime Chiefs executive Jack Stedman recommended the name Chiefs as an homage to Bartle's efforts. So this ain't even got nothing to do with any natives. This got something to do with some rich white dude. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And so why would they, while the origin of the team's name has no affiliation with American Indian culture, much of the club's early promotional activities relied heavily on imagery and messaging depicting American Indians in a racially insensitive fashion, because that's what all of these teams have done. Now, why do teams use this type of, why do sports teams, right, use this type of iconography and branding to make their teams? So let's I'm not taking this too far back, right, but let's talk about sports for a second. You got Team A playing Team B, right? And it's a battle. It's a battle of strategy. It's a battle of strength. It's a battle of endurance. It's a battle of stamina. It's a battle of coaching. It's a battle of execution. It's a battle. It's a fight. It's kind of like a war. They say in the trenches, all this other kind of stuff like that, right? So you want your team name to be menacing and provoking and to drum up, you know, something to be feared, right? An eagle is a regal bird that, you know, is a predator of a bird, right? You have the Bengals, right, which is a tiger, and rawr, you know, we're gonna go get them. You know what I'm saying? What other teams do we got? We got a Titan. Ooh, big Titan, big huge Titan. You know what I mean? What other teams we got? We got a 49er. Well, those guys pick gold. I guess there wasn't anything scary in San Francisco at the time. So when it comes to especially back in the day, I guess idea of white boys playing, they played cowboys and Indians, right? And so if there's already a team called the Cowboys, then I guess I'll base my team off the Indians. That doesn't mean that they're paying homage to this group and to this culture. These people don't give a damn about the group and the culture. If you guys care about Native Americans so much that you want to be racist and disrespect their culture and their heritage by wearing these headdresses like you earned to be able to wear their headdresses, maybe instead of worrying about wearing headdresses, stop putting a pipeline through their reservation in South Dakota. How about we do things that help the other reservations that we have throughout the country? Because there's a health epidemic that's going through them. Alcoholism, joblessness, depression, a whole bunch of things that everybody's dealing with. But not everybody is going around wearing other group stuff as a joke. And if they are, those people should be held accountable. So again, over the course of the club's 60-plus year history, the Chiefs organization has worked to eliminate this offensive imagery and other forms of cultural appropriation in their promotional materials and game day presentation. But they won't get rid of, and the Atlanta Braves won't get rid of, the worst thing that they have left. You had one team that was a dictionary definition of a racial slur, right? So that's like if I had the Cleveland N-words, like why would I have the Cleveland N-words? We have infinite amount of team name ideas that we can come up with. Why would I want to use a racial slur? That doesn't even make any sense, right? But I'm talking about, I don't even want to do it. I just did it. That's it. That's all you get. The chop. The chop is the most racist part. So now that you have hordes of people who, and if we're looking at the demographics of NFL ticket holders, I wouldn't say overwhelmingly, but majority are well-to-do white people going around doing this chop thing, singing a chant that has no bearing on any team. The Atlanta Braves and the Kansas City Chiefs use the same song chant. So it's not really connected to anything. It's just a made-up chop to stop. Just stop. Just stop with the chop, man. There's other things that we can do to promote our teams. To enhance these efforts, in 2014, Chiefs leadership initiated a dialogue with the American Indian Community Working Group. So it took them 60 years, but a good job. A collection of leaders from a diverse group of American Indian communities in Kansas City and the surrounding area. The club's leadership asked the working group to educate them on key issues facing Indian country, to elevate club practices and traditions, including the game day presentation, and to offer guidance and direction on ways the club could better honor American Indian culture. Like, how about we have a signal instead of the chop and the chop chant? Why don't you have a chant that the natives actually do, that they're like, here, you can use this one? It's there's so many things that we can do that's continuing to be a shithead. So all these other things don't really make sense. The biggest part, where did it go? Oh, here we go. Understanding the culture. So this is what the Kansas City Chiefs themselves say. The headdress and war bonnet. This is on the Kansas City Chiefs website, everybody. Okay? Headdresses have a deep spiritual and cultural meaning for American Indians. The feathered war bonnet is the headdress that many people typically associate with American Indians and is the one that popular culture most generally uses to portray American Indians. Worn mostly by northern and southern plains tribes, American Indian people create the regal crown by hand from the feathers of eagles, considered the sky's greatest bird, and believed to have the power to protect the wearer from harm. The headdress is a symbol of leadership, and each feather is earned and shows a position of leadership. So what did that little boy do to earn all them feathers? And what leadership does he have in the Chumash tribe? Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, nothing at all. Oh, okay. And that's where the problem lies. Not everyone in American Indian cultures has the right to wear headdresses. They are reserved for special cultural or spiritual reasons, and it's not because Travis Kelce's playing the Raiders. Okay? That's not one of those occasions. Balance between the promotion of stereotypes and actual knowledge and respect for how American Indians use a headdress as a cultural treasure is always the goal. That's a good one. Oh, look. They have something on face paint as well. Oh my gosh. What do they say about this? Like the feathers of a headdress, face paint has purpose and often contains great spiritual significance depending on tribal protocol and individual interpretation. Face paint, like feathers, is earned through actions and deeds that bring honor to both tribes and nations. This face paint was to represent the Kansas City Chiefs, which was named after some rich white dude and has nothing to do with Native American heritage and culture. So overall, at the end of the day, Breitbart, it doesn't matter that he's a Native American. The tribe said, stop that. It's wrong. It's incorrect. You made a boo-boo. You made a foulie. Oopies. So if you have any comments about this, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you do, go ahead, put them, in the comment section below, and maybe we can continue the conversation or maybe do another stream about this or something like that. But this is pretty clear that this family done effed up. You done screwed up, boo-boo. Oopies. You made a mistakey. Stop doing this. Stop wearing Indian headdresses and painting your faces like you're an Indian, because you're not. That means something to those people. And I've made this point. Look, I'm going to call my own self out. This right here, I've been meaning to get this taken care of for a long time, but I have other responsibilities that I need to take care of, okay? This is cultural appropriation. I have this aberration on my arm that I need to get rid of and I need to take care of. This is trash. I should have never got this. But I was a drunk 18-year-old in the Marine Corps and I wanted a tattoo that showed like this under my sleeves. I ain't in no tribe. This ain't connected to no tribe. I ain't do nothing to earn these made up, terribly looking, need to get a touch up stripes. It's terrible. Stop doing that. It's really not that hard to do.